Hi, beloveds. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. By now, we should be feeling the effects of that 11:11 energy. And as I mentioned yesterday, now we are out of the Mercury retrograde shadow. And we won't have Mercury retrograde again until January. So we made it through a huge energy shift, and I know that I slept very well. The energy actually kept me up a little bit, and then I slept very well and had very deep dreams. Many of us had these same experiences, but today I wanted to come in and share a little insight and inspiration about the importance of spiritual practice. You know, every time I come on here, I'm talking tarot, I'm talking Course in Miracles, I'm talking something about what I do on a daily basis for spiritual practice. And the reason I advocate this is because, you know, there's this big world out there that is telling us who we are, who we should be, who we need to aspire to, that we are in need of improvement, that we need this and that we need this to be better people, to be, to be prettier, to be smarter, to be richer. We're always being told that we're not good enough. And one of the things that I know spiritual practice has provided for me is the truth. And so, whether it be tarot or whether it be my Course in Miracles or meditation, prayer, yoga, whatever it has kept me solid. It has kept me sustaining my spirit. It has kept me humble and whole. And that's why I advocate for spiritual practice, because guess what? If I'm listening to the noise out there that's always bombarding me, of course I'm not going to feel worthy. Of course I'm not going to have things that, have thoughts that make me feel good about myself or anybody else. You know, I haven't shared this publicly, but I've been touched by suicide in more ways than one. And actually, I had a friend just the other day who I reached out to and hadn't spoken to in a while. And he, at the moment, told me, he's like, this is the darkest I have ever felt. And when I saw in his eyes that I could feel it, that he had actually thought about, suicide. And I said, no, my love, this is not the way. And I also publicly never came out and shared that my eldest brother committed suicide a few months ago. And, people were like, how can you be so positive? How can you, you know, how can you? And you know how I can? Spirit. My spiritual practice is what sustains me. It's not trying to be positive and happy all the time. I'm human. I feel things. Things happen. I feel bad. I get upset. I get angry. I scream. I yell. Not very often, but spirit has kept me solid. And so, whatever you're going through, and ask yourself, how are you contributing to what's happening out there? Are you, what is in your mind? What are the beliefs that you hold? It always makes me think of that, what's that phrase, that the ripple effect, right? A butterfly, you can feel a butterfly's wings, across the world. The ripple effect of a butterfly's wings can be felt. And so can our vibe, so can our energy. And so, as I shared, it's not about being, oh, I'm so positive and I'm so happy all the time. No, it truly is saying, I don't know why this happened. I don't understand it. I'm hurting or whatever it is, but guess what? I know you can guide me through this, because my mind would tell me to bring me down. My mind wants to cry about my brother every day and cry about what's happening out there in the world. I'm very sensitive. I'm a Cancer, right? I could cry at the drop of a hat, especially because, as I just shared, my brother just recently passed away, and so that's very fresh for me. However, it is my spiritual practice that tells me there's somebody else who needs you. Just like I said, when I reached out to my friend, something just guided me and said, Tonya, you need to reach out. And he lives in Europe, so it was hours of difference, and he had told me he was just about to fall asleep and was having these very dark thoughts. And I said, no, Spirit told me to call you, to write you. And so You know, it doesn't matter what kind of spiritual practice, as I shared, be it tarot, you know, but it has to be consistent. And this is the crucial part. We don't have a sometime spirit. We have an always spirit. And this is the thing. We only want to connect with spirit when it's for us. Oh, spirit, I really want this job, or I really need this money, or let me get this relationship. That's not how it works. And this is the thing. And this is why it's so difficult for us, because we're afraid. We're afraid of the light that we truly are. We're afraid to step into our greatness. What would it look like? You know, before I started advocating A Course in Miracles, let me tell you, I was so afraid. I was so afraid that people would think, oh, she's a Bible thumper. Now she's a this and she's a that. And I said, that was my ego getting in the way. You know, I never saw myself, hello, beloved, I never saw myself as this woman who would be sharing her spiritual practices and talking about spirit all the time. I saw myself as this party girl, you know, back in the day. I saw myself as just the psychic. I saw myself as, you know, the tarot reader. I never saw myself in my divine light. And that is where most of us forget that we are divine beings. You know, I just posted something about how we get distracted. And we get distracted because we don't want to look at the truth, because we don't want to look at ourselves. And this isn't about looking at our past. This is about looking at ourselves. And that's why I love Oshun, because Oshun, the Orisha, she holds a mirror. And you know what? A mirror is not just about our own reflection. It is also, what are we putting out there in the world, like that ripple effect. And so that's what spiritual practice supports, is the ripple effect. What is your ripple effect, right? And so the other day I was listening to Ancestral Voices, one of my absolutely favorites. One of it was Aya Fanlalo, and she was sharing about, you know, so many people say, oh, you need to be initiated to talk about the Orishas, to support the Orishas and all of this. And she said, no, you need to be committed and consistent, you know. And so it's the same thing in all things. So if we want magic to happen, if we want miracles in our lives, how are we feeding those miracles? Where are we feeding? You know, are we feeding them here? Or are we feeding them here? And so I'm inviting you, beloveds, to create a ripple effect of love through not what you do, but who you be. Who are you being? Not just out there in the world, but on the inside, who are you being? You know, and again, as I shared, this is where we learn and grow and flow from. I saw a video the other day of a salmon trying to swim upstream, and that river was hard coming at her, and she was wiggling, and it looked like she wasn't moving at all. But I realized she got that far, right? That she had been swimming against the current all that time to get to that place. And that's what sometimes it feels like. But when you have a deep spiritual practice, that river doesn't feel so hard. So I'd love for you to create your ripple effect today. And what is the effect that you are creating out there in the world? Because guess what? Saturday's new moon in Scorpio, the last super moon of this 2020 year, is going to be about us bringing our inner fire. And we can only do that when we are connected, not here, but here. So I want to see your ripple effects, beloveds. I want to see what you are capable of being today. So I send you love and light, and let's pray it out. Just blessing every heart, mind, body, and spirit, knowing that we are divine channels of love and of light, and that is truly who we are. And as we allow ourselves to know this truth about ourselves, our intuition is guiding and providing each and every step. So I bless us, mind, body, and spirit, and every man, woman, and child, every tree, every sea, every animal, every insect, every spirit that takes their first breath, and every spirit that takes their last. May we absolutely know that our ripple effect touches each and every one of us and all of us. And so it is. Ashe. Blessed be, beloveds. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Know that you are the love, you are the light, and you're oh so worthy. Peace and blessings.